Hello grade 11, this is an exciting program here. We're going to use the same program from activity 7.2, the previous lesson, and we're going to modify it with two rich edits and two edit boxes so that we can have 2 years that are entered in at the same time, and when we click the button we're going to display it in the appropriate rich edits. But now we have to define which rich edit we want to display which year in. The stats for which year, you know, accident statistics for which year, because there's 2 years involved now, not just one. And they say we must write a procedure here. It says write a procedure called display data years that receives a year number, receives an array, a whole array like we did last time, but it also receives a rich edit. So we can give a random rich edit name and put it in there. Yes, we can do that. So let's do it. We're going to write a procedure. Now this program has got all the other procedures that we wrote already. There they are. And now we're going to write another procedure there. Keep it in private. No other program is going to use this anyway. So display data. It's going to receive a year number. S year. Colon string. It will receive an array. ARR numbers, and of the type T ARR accidents, there, that data type, and it's not going to have a VAR parameter because we're reading from the array into the string there anyway. So over here we're going to take our year. It's going to receive a string year, then it's going to receive an array of accidents, TAR accidents type, and also a rich edit name. We're going to make up some rich edit name here now. I'm going to call it already stat colon T rich edit. Now where do we get that from? I'll show you T rich edit. When you see, if you have a rich edit on your form, can you see there's a type T rich edit? Yeah, just like our type that we made up. So there we go. It's got T rich edit there. So already stats is going to be a word that we decided to use there, and we highlight the procedure header. It's quite a long thing, isn't it? And Control Shift C. I hope that works. Yes, thank goodness it worked. There we go. Right, what is this going to do? It's going to take the year and the array, and it's going to display things in the rich edit for that year and that array called AR num. Okay. Write an additional procedure to display the results in the rich edit. Okay, now the button btn compare, the button, they're giving us some tips over here. In this button called btn compare, before we go and write this procedure, let's go and see what happens in the button click event, where you're going to have 2 years coming in here, okay? And it's 2 strings, S year 1 and S year 2. We go and let's have a look. Well, we're only using 1 string, so we'll get the first string, read the data and display data in RED first. Read data, display data. But don't forget about the functions that we have to use. So we are going to use the functions inside that new method, display data. We're going to call the functions there. Let's just to get you used to it. Let's go and get our string from EDT year first, EDT year 1. Okay, so I'm going to declare a variable called S year colon string. This is the button compare click event, the btn compare. So S year will be equal to EDT year 1 dot text. Alright, then we're going to do like we did in the previous activity. We'll call that other procedure called read data. We're going to read the data into an array. So I'm going to just write the word read data, open brackets. But remember, we have to have an array here, so we're going to declare array inside the var section here, like we did before. ARR accidents colon of T ARR accidents. That's a bit too common, isn't it? I mean, let's rather call it ARR ac. Okay, we'll call it AR of T AR accidents type. So we made our little local variable here so that when we call read data, we've got something to use. So S year num is S year. We can use S year there, not S year num. These are the parameters of this procedure, but we've got to put our own in. So S year is coming in there, comma, and then we've got to put a T AR accidents type there. So we've got it there. We declared it AR ACC. So that's that done. We don't have to worry about anything else. Then they say we must call the procedure display data. So display data, that procedure we just wrote down here, but we haven't finished writing it, have we? And what's going to go in there? We're going to have S here in there, and then we will have AR ac, and then the third parameter must be a rich edit. Remember, the rich edit. The rich edit name that we're going to use here is going to be this one, RED first. RED first. Where did I get RED first from? This rich edit over there, because that's going to be EDT year 1 will be RED first. EDT year 2 will be RED second. So I'm going to actually just copy and paste that and read from EDT year 2 and type here already second. So now you think, okay, we've done everything now. It's done, but we haven't written our procedure display data. That's a trick. So for display data, we're going to use S here to display in the rich edit. Which rich edit? Not RED first, not RED second, but RED stats, the rich edit that's coming in here. RED stats dot lines dot add. You're going to put in S here first. Okay. Then we're going to call our functions like we did before. RED stats dot lines dot add. We're going to call the functions. What are they? There's average number and so on, and high num. Average equals plus float to string f. Remember, the average num is a AVG num function. If you watched yesterday's lesson, you'll see AVG function is a real data type. There it is. It receives an array. So let's go and have a check. Where are we now? There we go. We're on this button. Click display data. But it receives an array. Average function, AVG num, there's a function, open brackets, receives an array. We've called our array AR num in this procedure display data, and it's called AR nums in this function average, but we can't use AR nums, we've got to use ARR num. Okay, so there it is. The average equals, I'll just put a new line so you can see. Okay, so now we're going to do the next one, the highest number and the lowest number, etc. So RED stats, where's RED stats come from? It's the parameter list of this procedure header, the procedure called display data. There we're using that one. That's stats.lines.add highest equals plus int2 string, and now the function called high num, here it is over here, here's the function, high num, is an integer function, and it receives an array. In this case it's called AR quantity, but we've got to use the array that we've got in display data, so AR num must come in here, close brackets, and there it is. Oops, we need another bracket there. That's always an issue with the brackets. Just watch out for the bracket. I'll put it on a new line so you can see. Okay. Function inum, and it receives an array. Take note we're using the variables in this parameter list up here. Now we're going to call the lownum function and say lowest equals and lownum. The function lownum with a or num as a parameter. Even though the function lownum has got this a or accidents as a parameter, but we are dealing with this display data procedure, we must use this array coming in here, that a or num there. You just have to remember that you've got to use the variables that are inside your procedure. Can't use a variable from another procedure, then you won't go wrong. This S here came into this procedure over there, so you look at your parameter list and see what you got there, and you use those. Right, so that should work fine. So, oops, I've probably got something float to string F, and no, I'm not formatting it. So it's float to string, not float to string F there, because I wasn't using the. So I'll put some year numbers in there. 2012, so I'm putting 2, click the button, and of course we should have maybe formatted that average, because it's not rounded off at all. So we can go and check if 2002 has got the 2012 has got the lowest number of what the lowest number is for 2012. So double check. Lowest number 5, yes, it sure is. 2002 also, 2000 also has a lowest number of 5, yeah. Right, so you try and do that by yourself.